Oh, it's already recording. All right. So this webinar is going to be on outsourcing customer service and order fulfillment, presented by me. My name's Eric. I'm Chris's brother. If you didn't know already. So just to give you a quick little background before we get started, I started e-commerce in 2017. Me, my cousin, and a friend of ours had a clothing business I started while we were in college. That ended up going well, but I got my feet in the game with e-commerce. So that kind of gave me the necessary skills to be able to run an e-commerce business. So although it wasn't a financial success, a lot of lessons learned in there that were very valuable. So I was hired to run 17th Watches in August of 2018. I was graduating college at the time, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, if I wanted to go work in corporate America or not. So my brother Chris provided me with an opportunity to run this business. I was already helping him out. I was shipping out orders and doing customer service because his business was growing a lot at the time, and he needed help. So he came to me with a proposal. He's like, "Why don't you just run the business full time?" Because he wanted to get into teaching people how to make money online and focus his energy elsewhere. I was a little hesitant at first, but I ended up taking him up on his offer. Um, and I just thought, why not? I could always fall back on my college degree if I needed to, or if I need to go work in corporate America, I could do that as well. But things ended up turning out good, and I'm able to run the business full time. So that's where I spend majority of my time right now, is just running that business. So just to give you a quick little overview. So we're going to cover why you should outsource fulfillment and customer service, things to consider before outsourcing, how to outsource, and the cost of outsourcing. So reasons to outsource your order fulfillment and customer service. So you want to turn your business into a system. The system will ultimately allow your business to operate without your labor input. So when you first start off running a business, you'll notice you're wearing a lot of hats, right? You're the marketer, you're the advertiser, you're doing logistics, you're doing customer service, you're trying to build a brand. So your energy is just everywhere. And eventually you want to get to the point to where you're not just working, your business is actually a system. The reason why you want it to be a system is because you want it to operate without you actually doing anything. You want to make money while you sleep. Your business, you have to kind of take yourself outside of the business, and ultimately you want to make things like move in your favor. So you don't want to work in your business, you want to work on your business pretty much. So it frees up your time so you can focus on leveraging your strengths that help your business grow. These include things such as marketing, advertising, content, and product creation. So basically, you want to focus on whatever you're good at, and you want to outsource the rest, because when you focus on what you're good at, that's only gonna it's gonna allow your business to grow so much quicker. It's kind of like, think of it as the Golden State Warriors, right? You have a team, and you have Steph Curry, right? Steph Curry is good at shooting, so the team is going to focus around the fact that he's a great 3-point shooter. So they're going to set up plays for him, and they're going to focus and leverage his strengths, right? So think of your business that way. You have to take into account what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, outsource your weaknesses, and then focus on your strengths and double down on your strengths. Um, so fast shipping and great customer service leads to repeat customers. So repeat customers are cheaper to maintain than finding new ones. Now, this is not saying that you don't want to find new customers, because that is important, but it's just going to be cheaper for people to come back to you and to buy again, as opposed to you always having to spend money or spend energy or spend time trying to find somebody new. So you want repeat customers. How do you get repeat customers? You provide great customer service. You have a good product. You have fast shipping. People love fast shipping because Amazon just made it that way. So you have to focus on getting your orders out as quickly as possible to get those people uh, coming back and buying from you again. So great customer service skills leads to positive word of mouth about your business, making it easier to convert new customers. So now when you want to go out and you want to convert new customers, Well, people who already had previous positive experiences with your businesses are just going to talk good about it. So then that's going to allow somebody else who maybe is a little bit skeptical of ordering from you or doesn't know too much about your business, if their friends or family are telling them positive things about your customer service, that's going to lead to them wanting to buy from you. Um, there's thousands of businesses being created every day. What makes you stand out? You have to find that unique thing. Usually, customer service is one of those things where you can really stand out and differentiate yourself from the pack. So, you also want to have the proper infrastructure set up to prepare for when your business is scaling. So, um, luck could play a factor in people getting eyes on your business or people wanting to order from your business. So let's just say you go viral on Twitter or Instagram, your business does, but you don't have the proper infrastructure set up to ship out everybody's orders. So you're getting hundreds of thousands of orders because you went viral, but um, you're a one man army, so you can't ship out all these orders, so you fall behind. Or people have inquiries and they want to send out emails to you and have questions about your product. Well, if you don't have the proper team set up, how could you ever take advantage of you being in the right place at the right time? So you want to be able to put yourself in a position where you're taking advantage of you being lucky sometimes. And then actually, when your business does grow and you're building it up, you want to have that infrastructure set up to where you can handle, hundreds of orders, thousands of orders per month, and you could, properly do that. So here are some things to consider before outsourcing. So, are your profit margins healthy enough for you to outsource? So this was one issue that I ran into when running a clothing business. Sometimes with clothing businesses, it could be tricky because you're trying to do print on demand and the profit margins aren't, good enough for you to be able to take a few percentage points hit. So you can't outsource it. So that's one thing you have to consider when running your business is that when you outsource this shipping, you're paying somebody to solve a problem for you, so you're going to have to spend money on that. So take that into consideration when you're going to outsource your business. You have to make sure that you're making enough revenue, that your profit margins are good enough, because ultimately think of it as an overall profit comparing the two numbers. So your profit margin may be lower on each individual order or each individual product because you're outsourcing your shipping. But overall, are you making more profit? Is your business growing? So just take that into consideration when you want to ship out, when you want to outsource your shipping. So remember, you're paying someone to solve a problem. So this affects your business's profit per order. So does your business make enough revenue to outsource? You want to consider that first, because if you outsource too early, you could be taking a profit loss and then you're trying to outsource. So make sure that you're making enough revenue before you decide to outsource, your shipping and your customer service. Because if not, ultimately you're in the game to, to make money, to profit. So just keep that in mind before you decide to outsource. So sometimes fulfillment centers have minimum order thresholds you have to hit per month, or you'll be charged if you don't hit that amount. So it has to make sense for both you as a business and the fulfillment center. The fulfillment center is providing a service to you, and then you're also providing them with money. So you have to make sure that it's a mutually beneficial relationship. You can't only have a few orders and then expect them to take you upon your business, because it doesn't make financial sense for them. So you have to take that into consideration as well. So are you willing to give up some control of your business? So what I like to think of that as is ownership versus control. You want to have ownership of your business, but you don't necessarily have to have full control of it. So you have to take into account, you have to kind of kick or your ego. Don't let your ego get in the way, pretty much, because sometimes your ego tells you need to have control over everything. You need to control what's going on, but it's just an illusion. You have to give up control. You have to be willing to sacrifice, some type of money on the front end to be able to, scale and grow your business. So you have to be willing to give up control of your business and trust other people. Trust is big in businesses. That's how customers order from you, right? You build that trust with them, or they have to go out and trust you that you're going to send them their product. So trust always plays a factor, and you have to be willing to, take risks when you're outsourcing these type of things. So one key point I would like to say is don't outsource too early. You must know how your business fully operates. So if you run into any issues, you can pinpoint and correct them. So let's say, for example, you outsource too early and you're trying to figure out why customers are not getting their product on time, or you have product issues, or any things of that nature. If you outsource too early, you wouldn't know exactly how the process works, from the customer placing an order to you fulfilling that order, to the order shipping out to the customer, to them receiving it, to them leaving you a review, to them coming back. You have to know how all these things operate and how they're all intertwined and connected before you outsource it, because you could possibly hire the wrong person or the wrong team to outsource your fulfillment with, but you can't anticipate or you can't calculate where they are going wrong or where things are going wrong because you outsource too early. So you have to know, first you have to kind of get down and dirty and get to, like, the bottom of things before you outsource these things. So it may be kind of tedious or kind of ugly at first, but it's important to know so you can correct these mistakes if they happen to pop up when you actually end up outsourcing to a company. So here's how to actually outsource your fulfillment. So you can either search on the Shopify App Store or Google for e-commerce fulfillment centers. So let me see if I can show you right here. So I'll go to Shopify real quick. And I'll just go to the App Store, and then you visit the Shopify App Store. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to search for order fulfillment or anything like that. So order fulfillment, right? So here goes one right here. Easy fulfillment. I believe Shipmonk is one. So just kind of go through, read the descriptions, read the reviews of what people are saying, and just talk to multiple people. Contact these people. Say, hey, I'm interested in outsourcing my fulfillment. What are your rates? How does it work, etc. Things like that. So this looks like a pretty good one. It has 4.9. That's the average rating, so that's pretty good. So you just contact these different fulfillment centers, or you can just search on Google. Go on Google and search e-commerce order fulfillment centers. And then you just create a list of the people you want to potentially work with, and then you're comparing rates, comparing customer satisfaction, and then you see who you want to go with. So here are some examples. So easy fulfillment, as we saw in the Shopify App Store, ShipBob, Shipmonk, Red Stag fulfillment. There are different ones. You don't have to use these. So who we use Everlasting Love Fulfillment. So they're located in Georgia, and we highly recommend them. So we've been using them for almost 2 years. I believe we started in April of 2019. So what I had to do was I had to basically do an inventory count of each product. Then I had to weigh the product to be able to create the shipping labels. And then I also had to label each product. So this is the product name. This is the inventory count. Then I had to tape it up and ship them off to the manufacturer. And that was kind of one thing you want to take into account too when you're doing this is your customers are still going to be placing orders with you. So maybe you have to update your order, your shipping page, and say, hey, we're transferring and we're using a fulfillment center now, so shipping is going to be delayed, or provide them with email updates if they ask about that. So you have to take into account that there's going to be sort of a delay between you shipping out all your products to your fulfillment center that you're going to go ahead and go with. So you want to send the email or inquiry and get the rate sheet. So the rate sheet is pretty much going to tell you, okay, how much do they charge for picking and packing? how much do they charge for shipping labels, how much do they charge for storage and receiving, and the technology setup. So I think the technology setup is a initial fee. They're basically integrating their software with your Shopify. So everything syncs on their end because they may have technology. They may be working with different companies and stuff already. So they have some type of software that they're using that they need to connect to your Shopify. So you have to take that into account. So picking and packing is pretty much okay. How many items are in each order? So they might charge you the same flat rate for 1 to 3 items. And then after that, there may be an additional rate of like 25 cents per each additional item. Shipping labels, just the standard sticky shipping labels that they use. You can buy your own shipping labels and just send them to your manufacturer, or they may have a deal where they're working with, these shipping companies and stuff like that to where they can get them for cheaper. So they would just bill you on the back end. It all depends on what will work for you or what you think works best. They just send us a bill at the end of the month with all these costs. Storage and receiving. So pretty much when you initially ship out your orders, or when you initially ship out your product to them, they're going to receive it. So they're going to ship out, they consider those like cartons or boxes. So you'll be billed for any time that initial shipment that you make. And then now when you have your manufacturer, you're going to ship it out to your warehouse and not yourself. So anytime you have, an order with your manufacturer and production has finished, you're going to ship it to your shipping or to your order fulfillment center, and then they're going to bill you per how many cartons they receive. And then technology setup is once again just integrating with whatever software that they use. So this is an example of a rate sheet. So this is Everlasting Love Fulfillment. This is what they charged us. Um, Keep in mind, this was 2 years ago when they sent this over, so things may have been different. So as you can see, for order fulfillment, pick and pack, 1 to 3 units included. So however many items are in one order. So it's $2.50. So if you have one order and there's 2 items in it, it's $2.50 for them to fulfill that order. If there's 3 items, it's $2.50 to fulfill that order. But once you get to 4 or more, then it's additional 25 cents. So shipping label, it's pretty much a sticky label where people put the customer has their address on that you print out from Shopify or Shippo or whatever software is being used. And they charge 60 cents per label. If you want, you can go ahead and buy your own labels and then just send them to the order fulfillment center. Storage. So you have a pallet and you have a bin. So pretty much when you have boxes being sent or cartons being sent to your manufacturer, they're going to have a pallet and then they can stack these up on top of pallets. So if you have more products, you're going to need more pallets, but they can stack, multiple boxes on top of these pallets. So you may only need one box per month. So that's $16 per month. And then if you have a bin, so I think a bin is more so if you don't have boxes. If you just have a bin that you want them to pick from, or if they have a bin that they want to use, then it's a little bit smaller. So it's only $1.25 per month. But we use pallets because we have watch boxes. So let me go back. So receiving, pretty much the goods are coming from your manufacturer. The goods are initially coming from you when you first shipping out. They have different rates. So per pallet, if you have a big pallet being sent to them, obviously that's going to be more expensive. So that's $11 every time you send one pallet. Per carton is $1.95. So however many cartons you have, multiply that times $1.95. And per unit is just if you just have one product or a few products that you're sending to them individually, they're going to bill you 35 cents per individual unit. So the initial setup and technology. So the new account setup, just to get you started off, get all the software integrated, they're going to charge you $450. That's a one-time fee, just an initial upfront fee that you have to pay. And that's just to set up the software. Then you have a monthly technology fee. So if they have some type of software that they're using and it has to constantly communicate with your Shopify store on the back end, then they're going to charge you about $75 per month just to use that. So these are the costs, the actual costs associated with it. Now, keep in mind, you still have your standard shipping costs that you would be paying to USPS or UPS that they're going to charge you. So how that works is you can either pay that through Shopify or they can pay that through Shopify when they're shipping out your orders, or they may just bill their account and then when that time comes for you to pay your bill, they'll just charge you that, whatever they paid for all those orders that they had to fulfill. That's what they do with us is they just charge their account and then they just bill us at the end of the month. But sometimes it may just be charged to the account you already have on file, your Shopify or your Shippo account. So how to outsource fulfillment continued. So once you decide on the fulfillment center, count your inventory of each product and label the shipping box with the name of your product and your inventory count. So if you have a watch, we have a watch called the Blue S2, right? So I would do an inventory count, say, okay, we got about 100 of these, or not we got about, but we have 100 of these, and the name of this is called Blue S2. So make a little printout of that, put it inside the box with the product. So once they receive them, they will have the inventory count and they know which each product is called. Because mind you, they're going to be new to shipping out your orders. So they need to know the name of each product. So you have to weigh each box to create the shipping labels, and then you would just ship them to the warehouse. So it might take you a few days to do this, or it might just take you like one full day to do this. I know it took me a few hours because we had so many products, had to count them all up and then ship them out, and then pack them up in the car and get them sent out. So you want to have the inventory or have the fulfillment center do an inventory check when they receive your products. So just make sure that both numbers match up. What you counted on your end and what they counted on their end should match up. And if there's any discrepancies, then you need to get that figured out. So when you do finish this transfer, you want to update your shipping policy on your website so it matches up with the policy of your fulfillment center. So let's just say before, you're a one-man army, you were doing all your shipping. So it takes you about 3 to 4 days to process an order, then an additional, 2 to 4 days for transit time for you to get to your customer, you to get this product to your customer. The cool thing about fulfillment centers is a lot of them can ship the same day depending on when the order is placed. So if the order is placed before a certain time period, then they can ship it out the same day, or if not, it will be shipped out the next day. So you need to talk to your fulfillment center and say, hey, how fast can you get these orders out? And once you know, now you can update your shipping policy on your website. So it's important that you do have a shipping section on your website. So you let people know, hey, this is when all orders are expected to be shipped out. This is how long the transit times take. So just update that to match what your fulfillment center, their policy is. So now that we've gone over how to outsource your order fulfillment, this is how to outsource your customer service, which is very important. So your fulfillment center may also do customer service as well. If they do, go with them to help everything run smoothly if the rates are reasonable. So sometimes the rates aren't reasonable. So you may just want to go ahead and hire a VA or somebody else to do your customer service. But if they are, then go ahead and go with them because you want to have everything in one spot pretty much. So the same people who are shipping out your orders are also answering customers' questions and emails and things like that. So if a customer has a question about shipping, if the fulfillment center isn't doing your customer service and somebody else is, that has to be communication between the two, and that could cause some type of lag, in the process of running your business. So if the same people are doing your fulfillment or shipping out your orders, then there's no lag and everything's more transparent. Everything's going to run smoothly. The process is just going to be just more smooth. So you can also find a VA, which is a virtual assistant. Virtual assistant is pretty much usually you want to go with somebody who's not in the United States because United States currency is more valuable than where they work at. So you can pay them, you know, it's not a lot of money in United States currency, but it's a lot of money in where they're from. And you can find somebody for like $5 an hour basically to help you out with your customer service. You provide them with an email address, you provide them with access to your Shopify store, you train them, and now you got somebody that's working for you for, you know, $5 to $10 an hour, and then maybe you only need them for 15 to 20 hours per week. So that's another route you can go if you don't want to go to your fulfillment center doing your customer service. Initially, we had a VA, but then I figured it would be better for our actual fulfillment center to do the customer service because it only made more sense. But if you want to go that VA route, if you want to save some money, you can go to Upwork or Fiverr and find somebody to do your customer service. So I'll show you Upwork real quick. So you just go to upwork.com. And then basically what you would do is you would post a job listing, say, hey, I'm looking to hire somebody. And then you post a job description like, this is your budget. This is what you're looking to pay. This is the job duties that you're looking for that person to do. So you just go to post a job. And then you can either decide if it's short-term or part-time work. So it's less than 30 hours per week, less than 3 months. And then you just write out that job description, and then people would start submitting their resumes and basically contacting you about that job if they're interested. Then you can interview them, and then you can decide who you're going to hire with or who you're going to go with. So once you hire a VA, provide them with a customer service email to work from, and give them access to your Shopify store. So when I say give them access to your Shopify store, it doesn't have to be full access. You can give them limited access. All you have to have is their email. So you have their email. Let me see if I can show you on Shopify actually. So I believe you would go to settings, and then you go to plans and permission, right? So under permissions, basically you would add a staff account. So you have a staff account, you have the first name, last name, email, and then right here, if you want to give them full permission to your Shopify store, you can do that. So full permission just basically means they're going to be able to view how many sales you have, everybody's order, your products, they'll make updates. So they'll be able to make updates to your actual Shopify store. So it depends on their role. You know, do you want to give them full access or not? If not, you can go right here and unselect that, and then you can click on what you want to give them access to. So depending upon their role, you either want to give them full access or you want to give them limited access. That all depends on how you want to go about that. But it's pretty simple. So then after you enter in their email, basically Shopify will send them an email saying, hey, verify your account, and then they would have access to your Shopify store. Okay, so you want to give the VA a breakdown of what duties you want them to do and fulfill, and walk them through the processes. So if you want them to respond to emails, let them know. If you want them to handle refunds, contacting fulfillment center, contacting your manufacturer, maybe you even want them to answer your Instagram DMs or do that for you. They can do that as well, but you have to make sure that you train these people because you have a culture that you have in your business and you want them to coincide with that culture, or you want them to adopt that culture. But you also want to make sure that they're doing their job correctly, but you cannot get mad at them for not doing their job correctly if you did not train them properly. So you have to make sure that you walk them through these type of things. And a lot of them are very helpful and they're willing to learn and they're very nice people. So just be willing to work with them and actually, you know, don't put all the blame on them if everything isn't flowing as smoothly as you want it to flow, because it takes time and they have to learn the process of your business. So just keep that in mind when you want to find a VA. Don't give up on them too quickly, and make sure that, you know, you make things fit seamlessly. So here's an example of the cost of outsourcing, if you can see it. So this is us with Everlasting Love Fulfillment. I believe this was last last month. So order fee. So we had 350 orders that were shipped out. So we're getting charged a rate of $2.50 per order. So that was our total amount, $875. So shipping is just the standard shipping fees that USPS, FedEx, DHL are going to charge us. So this is a cost that is going to be included or incurred no matter what, whether they're doing the shipping or we're personally doing the shipping. We're going to have to, pay for, postage. So that was $2,334.30. And then packing materials. So bubble mailers. So if you want to, we ship out in the bubble mailers. Sometimes we use boxes depending upon what we're shipping out. So some watches come in like square boxes and we have to use actual boxes to ship them out. And then some of our watch cases come in like rectangular boxes. So we would have to just use a bubble mailer, which is cheaper. So we use 227 units for bubble mailers and then 122 units for a single box. So packing materials, multi-box. So that's just if you have to use multiple boxes. Administration fee, that's a monthly fee that they basically charge us to manage everything, to oversee everything. Then we have storage. So we have 4 pallets basically. So we're getting charged $16 per pallet. So that's $64 per month. Receiving cartons. So we had, I think, 2 new products come in. Or not 2 new products. Maybe it was 1 product, but it was in 2 boxes. So we got charged $1.95 per unit, which ended up being a total of $3.90. Then your standard shipping labels that we use. We got, 350 orders to fulfill. So 350 times 60 cents. Customer experience. So this is kind of broken down into 2 things. So customer experience is them doing our customer service. So them answering our emails, and when people have inquiries and stuff like that, they're answering these type of inquiries. But we just hired them to do our Instagram DMs as well. So just for them to do the standard customer service, answering emails, things like that, refunding people, returns and things like that is, I believe, $250 or $275 a month. But we also hired them to answer our Instagram DM. So that's an additional $200 or whatever the cost is per month. So that's why it's $595. And then we have the the technology fee. So it's just a monthly fee of them using the technology that they have, and that technology and software communicating with Shopify on our end, connecting everything, making sure that everything's integrated. That's a monthly fee that we pay. So that's what our monthly bill would look like. So essentially what we're doing is we're outsourcing the shipping, but I'm able to focus more on the marketing because that's more so my thing, the marketing, the advertising, the sales. So this type of outsourcing allows me to focus on these type of things so our business can grow and expand quicker, because I'm not trying to do everything on our end. I'm not overwhelmed. Initially, that's what it was. I was doing everything. I was doing the shipping, was doing the customer service, was doing the advertising, was doing the marketing, anything you name, I was pretty much doing everything, and I got overwhelmed. So I figured out what my strength was. My strength was marketing. So I doubled down on my strength. I leveraged that. And that's how we've been able to grow so much, was me leveraging my strength and outsourcing everything else. And that is it about outsourcing your customer service and order fulfillment. So thank you. So my Twitter, if you want to follow me there, is _E, _, and then Johnson. Then Instagram, 2_E, 1_ Johnson. And then let me see if I can now answer questions. All right, so if you guys have any questions, just let me know and I'll get to those. So where do you get your products from? Alibaba, AliExpress, CJ Dropshipping? So we get our products from Alibaba. So basically, you can have manufacturers already have pre-made products that you can adjust the design to if you want to go that way, or if you just want to go ahead and private label them, you can do that way as well. But if you have a design and you want them to actually, if you have a design drawing up and you have certain specifications you want to meet, you can do that as well. But you just have to find somebody who will create your product. So what I recommend when you use Alibaba is look for a gold supplier. So gold supplier is basically somebody who's like verified by Alibaba. You're not going to get ripped off or scammed pretty much because it's verified that they've been doing business. They have certain amount of transactions and stuff like that. So you want to verify on their customer profile that they're a gold supplier. Usually when you work with gold suppliers, you're not going to get scammed or anything like that. So yeah, you want to hit them up, say, hey, I have this product idea, or I'm looking to get this product made. I would like to order, a sample. So you also have your logo that you send over to them as well. So you say, hey, I want to put this logo on this product. And I want it to be this material. I want it to be stainless steel. I want it to be steel. I want it to, look like that. So you have your designs or your mock-ups, send that over to them as well. What they'll do is they'll communicate with their designer. So then they'll create a digital mock-up for you, and you're looking over the mock-up, making sure that everything is, looks good, or it looks to, it fits your needs. If it doesn't, tell them, hey, you need to fix this, you need to change this, you need to do, etc. So once you have that digital reference, is everything's good to go on that, then you go ahead and order your sample. It takes about a few weeks for them to create your sample. You get your sample shipped to you. Once you have your sample, you can begin your product photography. And then if you don't like your sample, because sometimes it may look good, when they send you pictures, but when you actually get the product, you're like, oh, this feels cheap, or it doesn't weigh a lot. I don't like the way it looks. So you may need to go back and, adjust your sample to your liking. But once your sample is good, then you can start your product photography. You can start accepting pre-orders, and then if you want to go ahead and place a bulk order, you would go ahead and do that. They typically require you to put 30 to 50% down, and then you would just start your pre-orders, offer people a discount when you get your pre-orders, and then you would use that pre-order money that you're getting from customers to go ahead and pay once the production is actually done. Because the production is going to take it could take anywhere from like 3 weeks to 2 months or whatever the case is. So you should be collecting pre-orders and getting that money ready for the the remaining 70 to 50% that you have to pay. And then you can use AliExpress. You can use AliExpress as well to sell too. Sometimes we get our watch boxes from AliExpress, so they kind of have watch boxes that are already made, but you just want to put your logo on them. So you can hit up a manufacturer. Some of them work with you. They'll be able to put your logo or your design on, on different type of products, and then they'll be able to ship them out to, if you have somebody fulfilling your orders, they'll be able to ship it out to them. If you do it yourself, they'll be able to ship it out to you, and you'll be able to brand it. What are some examples of good products to sell? Um, well, it all depends on what your interests are. Watches could be good, but that depends on if you're a watch type of person. I know a lot of people get into watches, but what do you like? What are you interested in? And then you see if you can find a product around that. So I have a brand called Nomadic. It's like a travel brand, so it's a good product to sell. Those type of products are good to sell, like crossbody bags, backpacks, things of that nature, because they have good profit margins. So I'm able to offer people, discounts to be able to convert them. So you have to take into account profit margins as well. Makeup is good. Things in like the beauty, cosmetic type of things are good. Um, Anything that has I would say like planners are good too. There are all type of things that are good. Mirrors, smart mirrors, things like that are pretty good. Humidifiers, cigarette humidifiers, all type of things are. Just really depends on what you're interested in. You can't just, I can't tell you specifically what to sell. You have to figure that out on your own. But once you figure out, like, something that you like or something that you're interested in, and you figure like other people want this, then you can go ahead and sell that. um Any list or example of reliable suppliers for clothing brands? Um, let's see. So if you want to do print on demand, Printful is, I'll say they're decent because they're a print on demand. So you have to worry less about, actually holding inventory. It's less of a risk of putting that upfront money up, but the profit margins do get cut into that. So if you're looking more for like a more profitable type of thing, go on Alibaba and search, like men's t-shirts or custom men's t-shirts, and then look for gold suppliers and then contact them and see, what they're how much they're charging to produce, each t-shirt and things like that. Sometimes Alibaba, they have people in Pakistan as well too that can create, pretty cheap clothes for you. When I had the clothing brand, we used somebody from Pakistan to create a crop top sweater that we had. So, but I majority of it was print on demand. So we used like Printful, and I forgot what the other app was on Shopify. So I'm not too familiar with specific people you can use on Alibaba, but just find a gold manufacturer and see examples of their previous work and order samples for them. It's really just trial and error, but to minimize that error, what you have to do is find a gold supplier and find somebody who's like willing to work with you. You don't want to work with suppliers that aren't interested in working with you. Sometimes these suppliers are like, oh, you don't want to order or not, so they're not going to give you a lot of attention, or they're not going to, cater to your needs. So you may need to find somebody else as well. You mentioned your strength is in marketing. Any tips for someone that's not good familiar with marketing? A lot of marketing is storytelling, evoking emotion, those type of things. So you have to find your unique angle or your unique story of your brand, and you want to kind of convince people to believe in that type of angle. So with us, 17th, we like to lean on the fact that we're a veteran-owned brand, right? So when we're marketing, that's the type of things that we want to mention, right? Because a lot of people will go out their way to support veteran-owned businesses because they may have a family member who served, or they may have served themselves, or they just may have a lot of respect for people who serve. So we're connecting with people on an emotional level. In turn, they will buy our products because that's the type of things they like. So you have to figure out where you can emotionally connect with somebody, and then once you figure that out, it may take trial and error, but once you figure out that unique marketing angle, you have to double down on that. Um, and then storytelling as well. Storytelling, people like stories, right? We're humans, we crave for narratives, right? We like to tell ourselves stories. Stories evoke emotion as well. Stories are cool, people have been telling stories for thousands of years, and it's just really something that's just like human nature to gravitate towards somebody's story. So if you want to go the more storytelling type of way, that's a good way to market as well. So the fact that we mentioned that we're veteran owned, but example of like a story angle from that is my brother Chris started this 5 years ago when he was when he was stationed in Europe, right? So that right there is a story in itself, right? So people will put themselves in your shoes and saying, "Hey, he was in the barracks starting up his business." It's emotional connection that people like to have. So that's another thing as well. Are there any other questions? Is telling your audience a percentage of your sales goes towards supporting other Black-owned, women-owned, LGBTQ a good example of marketing the brands? Yeah, I think so too. So these are social issues, right? So you can play on social issues as well, if that's what your brand is about, as long as you're being authentic. So you say, hey, every 10% of sales goes towards, we're going to donate it to underprivileged communities, or we're going to do this with every percentage of sales. You can play on that as well, as long as you're really doing that. And people connect with that too, because everybody wants to get behind a cause, right? we're humans, right? We like that social aspect of things. We like to rally around each other. We like to think in groups. We like to we like to have some type of purpose with those type of things. So yeah, I do think that is a good idea. I know somebody who his name is Austin, and he has a watch business, and I think he donates 10% of all his sales to to planting trees. So that's a social aspect of his business that I believe people rally behind those type of things. So I do think that's a good idea. Are there any other questions? I don't have a question, but I like to add a gem. Another little known website to outsource is online jobs. Okay, so onlinejobs.ph. Thank you, Erica, for that. Do you copyright trademark design before sending for sample? Uh, I wouldn't say do that before sending a sample because when you're getting a sample made, what if you don't actually like the sample, and you got a trademark or you got a copyright on that idea? Um, I wouldn't necessarily say you have to go that far, but once you actually know you're gonna go ahead and go full force with that, then that's something that you should be able to, or that's something that you should look into. Uh, but initially, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, if you want to be safe, then you can go ahead and do that. But it all depends. All right, you guys got any other questions? I wanted to start a clothing line. What startup money would you think was required if I want to have your own inventory? All right, Nikki. So what um what specifically do you want to sell when it comes to clothing line? Do you want to sell shirts? Do you want to sell hoodies? Um, do you want to sell sweats? Do you want to make it like athletic type of wear, streetwear? What specifically do you want to sell? And then what was the best social media platform that gets you the best traffic? For us, it was Instagram. We started using Twitter more, but for some reason our account got banned for Twitter, so we need to hop back on Twitter. But Instagram, people like pictures on Instagram. Um, Instagram is very fast paced visual type of thing. So I think watches work well with Instagram, with the Instagram platform. It all kind of depends on what you're selling. So um, maybe something may work better on Twitter because it appeals more to, thought provoking type of ideas or whatever the case is. It all depends on, what you're selling. So if you want something that's more like visceral, more visual, things like that, you go on Instagram. Twitter's more so like, idea based, things like that, people kind of thinking about things. Jeans, streetwear. So what I would say is what platform you use for a website. I use Shopify, jeans and streetwear. So I would say start off with maybe two products. I would say start off with two products. So you'll probably need like a few $1,000s to get started. Um, but I would say probably like I don't know, like two to $4,000, right? So I say start off with two products, see how they do. Um, get your samples made of the jeans and then like a streetwear. So if you want to do like a hoodie or something else, so like jeans and a hoodie, right? Start off with two products just to give people some diversity or some variety to pick from. Um, Start off with your initial investment, start collecting pre-orders, things like that. And then what you want to do is just take all the money that you're getting from the pre-orders or all the money you're getting when you actually order the products, just keep reinvesting that back into your business. So maybe you had jeans, so now you want to go with a crop top after that. Take the money you made from the jeans, invest in the crop top. But you have to make sure that your profit margins are healthy enough to be able to reinvest. That's why that's important. And also if you want to run sales as well, make sure if you can throw in 20 to 30% sale, that you're still being able to make money on the back end so you can reinvest those profits. So start off, with two things, and just slowly but surely, once you get enough sales, reinvest that into new inventory, and just slowly but surely, like, just grind your way up. And then eventually you'll have like a whole selection that people can, or a whole collection that people can choose from. So just start off with a few products. Uh, how can I get Instagram influencers for my product? So, um, a way you can manually do that is just look for an influencer on Instagram. Find somebody that you like, that has like a decent amount of followers. I'll say like anywhere from like 5 to 10,000, 5 to 15,000 followers. So basically, what you want to do is just message them and introduce yourself. I started doing this with my brand Nomadic. I'll just be like, "Hey, my name is Eric." Or actually, I won't even use my name. I'll just use the brand account. So I'll be like, "Hey, we're Nomadic, up and coming travel brand." Then you connect with them on the way. Say, why do you want to work with them? So I say, why do I want to work with you? Yeah, we both love travel, our travel ideas, so we think our audiences mesh well together. Just be like, if we send you a product, is there any way you can take a couple pictures from us and post about it? This is our website. Feel free to check it out, and let us know if you like these products. So I like to offer them the choice to pick from different products, because people like to have that choice to choose what they want. And then just send them your website and have them check it out, but just introduce yourself, say why you want to work with them and why you guys think why you guys would mesh well together, and then just send them to your website, and then they could decide from there. So just send that to x amount of people per day. Eventually somebody's going to be interested in what you have to offer. And then they also have apps on Shopify where you can find influencers. So I think one is called Caro, something like that, Carro. So it kind of automates that for you, um, finding influencers. So basically, you connect your Instagram, and they look through your previous orders as well, and then they'll say, okay, this person has so many amount of followers, this is their engagement rate, and then you can go ahead and like contact them and say, we want to work with you. Basically, the app, what it'll do is they'll dig through their emails and see if they have an email. Then you can contact them and have an automated email saying, hey, 17th wants to work with you. And then they'll respond back to you, and then you can send them your product catalog, and you just fulfill those orders, which will be a free order on the back end. Does it say vendors are gold members on Baba? Is there a symbol? Yeah, there's a symbol. It's like a gold symbol or something like that. But if you click on it, it'll say like gold supplier, and then it'll also have a rating as well. Like I think there's like diamond ratings. So the more diamond ratings, the better. You have to consider weight and shipping off to. Yeah, you have to consider the weight when you're. I'm not sure if you're asking to ship to the fulfillment center, or if you're shipping from Alibaba to yourself. But yeah, you do have to consider the weight. So it goes by dimensional weight, so length, width, height. And then the more heavier or the more dimensional weight something has, the more expensive it's going to be. So you have to also take that into consideration when you're pricing your products. It's not just solely based off the price of the product. It is also based on the shipping cost as well. So you have to kind of bake that into or take that into consideration when you're creating the price for your product. Do you know how to find American manufacturers? Um, yeah, there's some apps on Shopify that you can search for. You can also just Google, like, I don't know if you're trying to drop ship, but you can like Google American, like, American based drop shipping or whatever the case is. But Shopify also has some as well. If you want to ship from America, you can also, play on that on marketing. So say that, our products are made in America. So because some people only want to support, things that were created in America. What percentage of revenue do you end up spending on fulfillment and customer service? So I believe it's about less than 10%. So I believe it's about like 7 to 8%. Um, 7 to 8% of our revenue is spent on that. So it's not too much actually. So I took that into consideration. So this is one of the reasons why having like, we had a good profit margin on our watches. So we can afford to take a 7 to 8% loss if overall we're going to gain more sales, or overall the profit number is going to look better. The profit margin per order may not look better, but the overall number of that profit is going to look better. Cheaper than Amazon FBA. I'm not too familiar with Amazon FBA. What I'll say is, comparing the two, is that with Amazon FBA, Amazon already has that infrastructure. People already trust Amazon, so it may be easier to to convince people to buy from you on Amazon. But the downside of that is you don't have customers' emails, you don't have customers' numbers to text them. You don't have any of this data. Amazon is basically hoarding all the data from you. So they already have the marketplace and the infrastructure set up, so people will probably trust in your brand more. But you're not able to collect the valuable data for you to be able to retarget these people. So that is like, I think, the downfall. So maybe you can do both of them. That would be a good idea. But no, we're not on Amazon right now. All right, y'all. I'll take a few more questions. Do you recommend drop shipping first before starting your own clothing brand if you don't have the initial capital? Yeah, because it's less risky. So drop shipping is a less risky type of business endeavor. So you don't have to put up any upfront money besides starting up your Shopify store. You got maybe have like a few $100s or whatever the case is, and then you actually just collect the money from the customer, and then you can go ahead and fulfill the order on the back end from your manufacturer. So yeah, maybe use shipping to get yourself familiar with marketing, sales, how to do customer service. Like, just think of it all as like a learning lesson. So then when you really want to go ahead and start that, that private label type of brand or whatever the case is, you already have your feet wet, you already have the experiences, like, so um there's less like energy required, or there's less of a learning curve when you already have experience. Was this somewhat in line with your major? Well, I was a math major, so I guess the numbers part, yeah, but um, not too much. Yeah, the math part, being analytical. So having a math degree, like you have to know how to solve problems and be analytical. And I can do like quick calculations in my head, or understand when things don't make sense. But nothing like too specific. Maybe if I wanted to get into like coding or building a Shopify app, then that would come into to play, or whatever the case is. What are the roadblocks you encounter with receiving your products to US, and where do you get them from? Um, so getting stuff through customs is a headache. It could be a headache sometimes. So basically, um, if you're shipping from overseas to United States, it has to go through customs. You have to get it cleared. With watches, you have to fill out a watch worksheet. Watch worksheet, basically, they want to know the contents of what's inside the shipment, and the details of it. So is the case stainless steel? What type of battery you have, and then you have to break down each unit cost of each individual part, and that has to add up to the total cost of what the invoice that the manufacturer is sending. So let's just say the manufacturer is saying each individual watch is $10. Well, when you do the watch worksheet, you have to break down, okay, the strap is $5, the battery is $2, the case is $3 or whatever the case is, so it adds up to 10. You have to make sure these things match up. Then what they're going to do is, once they match up, they have to get it through customs or communicate with customs. So it'll either be like DHL or FedEx or whoever the case is. They'll send the paperwork over to customs. Then you'll be charged like some type of tariff or some type of tax to import these things. Now, mind you, you have customers who are placing pre-orders, and you're telling them, hey, we can get this out throughout this time, but you may not be able to, because trying to get everything cleared through customs may take you like, anywhere from 4 days to like, to 2 weeks or whatever the case is. So you have to keep that in mind when you're having pre-orders for your products. Take into account that you have to get things cleared through customs, and that may delay things. Like, so maybe add an extra week or two to the estimated ship date. You have to take that into account. Any products or products lines you would advise not selling? Um, something that doesn't have something that you can't scale pretty much. So you can't scale it, then and that is your ultimate goal is to scale your business. So maybe you don't want to scale your business. So maybe you can sell something that's like, doesn't have a big profit margin or not. But if your ultimate goal is to scale your business, you don't want to work, as hard as possible, and you don't want to have anything to show for it because, everything is like, eating away at your profits or your profit margins are so low. Um, and then sell something that, you feel like you want to have like a long-term mentality when you're building a business, right? Because the days will get rough. Like, trust me, I know that the days will get rough. Sometimes you'll go like a certain long period without sales and things like that. So just have something that you like, you can really believe in or put your mind behind because when things get rough, a lot of people are going to quit because they don't believe in their vision or they don't believe in their brand. So whatever product you decide to get behind, make sure that you really think long term about that. All right, y'all. Anything else? Let's do like two more questions. Y'all got anything else? So my Instagram is one underscore. No, actually two underscores, then E, then one underscore Johnson. Let me see if I can put it right here. You have to work with forwarding agents to go through customs. Yes, exactly. That's who you have to work with. So basically, they're like the middleman between customs and you. So DHL, FedEx, they have their forwarding agents that you have to contact. Basically, you can either give them a call or send them an email and just kind of let them know, hey, I'm trying to clear this through customs. And then you have to send over your paperwork to them. So they serve as that middleman. All right, y'all. Well, I think that was it. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. This was my first presentation, so I was a little bit nervous, but I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Yeah, have a good day.